Hello, my name is Kristina Garcia. I got involved with PRC in the spring of 2019. My husband and I were invited to the fundraising banquet. At that time, I really didn't know anything about PRC, but while we were there at the banquet, I was listening to the client testimony and I just was blown away by what a difference PRC is making in our community. Immediately, my husband and I decided to start financially supporting PRC. And I knew that PRC had a need for volunteers, but at that time, my husband and I had been struggling with infertility, and I thought there's no way that I would be useful to PRC's mission. It just seemed too emotional to me and too difficult. Fast forward until the fall of 2019, my husband and I actually ended up finding our home church and got just connected with the community, and God just really started changing my heart and the way that I wanted to help other people. I found that while I was hurting, there were other people who were hurting in a different way, and they needed help too. So in the spring of 2020, I tried to get involved with PRC. COVID changed that a little bit, and I actually started volunteering as a client advocate in about September of 2020. It's really amazing to see how God can use us and intertwine our story with somebody else's story. This makes me think of one client that I recently met who came into PRC seeking resources for her young children. Now, something interesting about this client was that she did not speak English, she only spoke Spanish. And I actually studied Spanish in college and I lived in Spain, but it had been many years since I had really used my Spanish. So I was pretty nervous before the appointment with this client. That said, we went into the appointment and I just really felt that God was empowering me and equipping me to be able to help this woman in a really beautiful way. So even though her situation was very different from my situation, it was just so cool to see how God was able to use me in her story. If you're considering volunteering with PRC, but maybe you're not sure how you would be helpful or you're feeling nervous like I was, I would encourage you just to give it a try. I can pretty much guarantee that any client you would meet is more nervous about the appointment than you are. It's really amazing to see the transformation from when clients come in and they feel flustered or embarrassed, and they end up leaving feeling really loved and empowered. I'm always amazed by God's faithfulness in equipping us when we choose to serve. If you choose to serve with PRC, I promise you'll never be alone. The staff at PRC is super helpful and knowledgeable, and of course, God will empower you too.